So I'm here with Scott Coker, Bellator President, getting ready for Bellator 220 this weekend. And I got some questions leading up to that. So I noticed recently, like on the Bellator website, that you guys have an Atomweight division, women's Atomweight division listed. Is that just an accident, or is there anything there?
Yeah, you know what? We do have some female fights that fight in the weight class, but it's not like we have a full-blown division. We're sticking to our 125 and 145. But from time to time, you will see some fighters fighting in the female division in that weight class. I mean, sometimes Carrie Melendez is something that drops down. She really can't make 125, so she's fighting at 115, 118. So, we'll accommodate her fighting in that weight class, but it's not a division yet. But you never know. In the future, you never know.
Yeah, because when I saw that, I messaged Lindsay Van Zandt, and I was like, hey, you know anything about this? And she's like, no way. And she freaked out and thought I was telling her it was happening. I was like, no, hold on. I don't know if that's the case. I was asking you.
Not
sorry,
yet,
Lindsay.
Not yet.
And tomorrow night, there's also 2 flyweight fights, so it's kind of the same situation there with the flyweight division.
Yep. I mean, listen, where there's great athletes, that's where we want to go. And sometimes, like I said, we will, make a accommodation for certain fighters, because if, for instance, there's a gentleman at 125, 115 even that was an amazing athlete that really, could put on a great show and entertain the crowd, we would put him on. Why not? We're flexible like that.
Of course. And speaking of flexibility, I guess you made 2 pretty big signings recently. Josh Barnett and heavyweight, and I think I heard that most likely he's going to get the winner of Fedor and Congo. Is that the idea there?
That hasn't been determined, but I think that his manager was looking for a fight in between that fight and the title fight. But Josh would like to fight for the title, and we're just trying to work out his schedule because he needs a full camp to train. He's been out for a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's also got some other movie and wrestling obligations.
Yeah.
So he's a very busy guy. But hopefully we get him in the cage and have him fight, and maybe he'll get a fight, and then if he wins, then he can go for the title before the end of the year.
So for me, and I'm sure a lot of hardcore fans, the moment that he finally got released from the UFC, I thought of, we can finally see the Fedor fight from Affliction. Is that something you've thought of? Have you talked to Fedor lately? Is there any chance of that? What's going on with Fedor?
I'll be honest with you, I haven't talked to Fedor about anything because he's been in Moscow. But again, I will be sitting down with him in Chicago in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to ask him, say, what are your plans? I mean, what do you want to do? Because if he would like to continue, I would love to put together a tour for him, and maybe fight in Japan one time, fight here in the U.S., fight in Moscow, and we would promote all of them and have like a victory tour, like this is a victory lap, But he might say, no, I'm not interested. I'm, just gonna, work for the government, or maybe not work. I don't know what his plans are. So, in a couple of weeks, I'll have a clear direction of what he wants to do. But that would be something, huh? Him and Barnett, the fight that never happened.
So close.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. And the other signing you made, I think it was last week, 2 weeks ago or something. Leslie Smith finally going to get back in action. How excited are you for that? And was it? It's been kind of a while since that whole thing went down when she got released and everything. Was there any hesitation with signing her just because of the union stuff and anything like that? Or
I'll tell you, what? We definitely had our finger on the pulse of that whole situation. And what made me feel really comfortable was sitting down and talking to her and seeing what her beliefs were. And I told my guys, look, we can find common ground here, and she trains with Gilbert and Carrie. I feel very comfortable. They're like family. And so to me, it's like I felt very comfortable. Gilbert really wanted this to happen. And after talking to her and sitting down, I said, okay, we can make this happen. And we did it. So you know what? If we didn't all feel comfortable, I don't think we would have signed her. And now she's part of the family, and we're going to treat her like part of the family and give her every opportunity to move forward and get the big fights.
Yeah. I mean, she was in Strikeforce too, right? So you were familiar with her from back then anyways, right?
And that was a while ago.
Yeah. And so for debut, though, is there any time frame you're thinking there? I know Arlene Blanco is looking to come fight again soon. There's a matchup there.
I tell you, we don't have a solid matchup yet, but I mean, she's probably going to fight in the next couple of months, I would think, sometime over the summer.
Yeah. Well, since I mentioned Blanco, she hinted at some news recently. Is there
really?
anything there? Yeah.
Well, that's news to me. So
yeah. Okay.
Let me know if there's something good.
All right, for sure. And last week, Rizin had their first event of the year, Rizin 15. King Mo went over there, challenged Yuri Prochazka for the light heavyweight title. Did you end up seeing it? What did you think?
Yeah, I just felt bad because I think King Mo, he just. I don't know if it was a time frame adjustment. He just ran. It seemed like he just ran out of gas. And he took a lot of shots, and it's like it's something that it's a guy that he beat 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I felt really good about sending him, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with the future of King Mo. But the guy that's the champ now, we should go fight him. We should bring some guys to fight him.
Yeah.
So tell Saki Ibarra that we'll be looking, to come fight this guy.
Well, apparently he wants to rematch Nemkov, who's fought before.
I saw that fight. That was a great fight too. Yeah. Well, we have a bunch of fighters that can fight him.
Many options.
Yeah, many options. Like just line up and there's Liam, there's Phil. There's
I talked to Phil yesterday, and he said, he's down for that totally.
I love when my fighters want to go to Japan and fight. I love it because I've been there, and when I was working for K1, it's such a magical place to go watch fights, and you're like in the land of the rising sun, right? And martial arts just permeates through the air there because there's not a weekend in Tokyo that you can't go to a fight.
Yeah.
Whether it's Pancrase or Shuto or this or that or
you'll find something.
Kickboxing, K1. I mean, there's something going on. So it's just in the culture, and I love being there. And when my fighters want to go there, I never say no. And Saki Ibarra actually wanted King Mo to come and fight for the belt, but now that the other guy's the champ, we should talk about who we can send over to, give him a good fight.
And so you mentioned Saki Ibarra. After Horiguchi won this past weekend, also he said that the Caldwell fight is going to happen in MSG. Is that what's going on?
There's nothing contracted. We're working on it, but there's nothing contracted because it's not going to be overnight. I'm sure that we don't love that, but when you're dealing with two organizations, two different fighters, and it's just translating the documents back and forth are a challenge.
Oh man, I can imagine.
Yeah, you can imagine. So because the one thing I told Saki Ibarra, I said, look, we'll fight any of your guys, and win, lose, draw, it doesn't matter, and the only thing I ask is that we have to have access to the fight if they become the champ. So if DC is going to put up his belt and Horiguchi wins, we have to have access to Horiguchi in the future. So we're trying to work out the final details of that.
Because when it got announced that Horiguchi was going to fight Ben Nguyen instead, and then after the fight, Saki Ibarra says, we're going to do the rematch next.
So he said that?
Yeah, he said it. Okay. He went in the ring and said it and everything. I was like, I was thinking Archuleta might fight Caldwell in the meantime if Horiguchi's going to do that. So,
well, you know what? I know Horiguchi's very busy too. They have him lined up for fights. He wants to fight 4 or 5 times this year. So, let's see what happens. But I'm hopeful we can put together. I know Saki Ibarra wants to do it. I want to do it because I think that the first time, DC seemed a little bit uncomfortable in the ring, and wasn't able to hold him down. It's just different. It's a different.
Definitely.
But I give Horiguchi a lot of credit coming to come fight DC, and it was part of the deal. But he could have easily said, "Oh, I don't want to do it now," whatever. But he wants to come fight, and we want that fight to happen badly.
For sure. All right, last thing I'll leave you with here. Which fight are you most looking forward to tomorrow night? Tough question.
That is a tough one.
Save the best for last.
I'll tell you have some rocky stories in this show, right?
Yeah.
The John Fitch, legacy fight. And listen, don't people say, oh, he can't. No, he can do it. This guy could grind you out.
Oh, yeah.
He's been proven over.
He's
and
on
over.
like a 6 or 5 fight winning streak, something like surprising.
The guy's a killer, and so you saw what he did to Paul Daly or different fight. I mean, he is a guy that can grind you out, right? So it's going to be a great fight, and to me, that's the Rocky moment. This is hometown. Trains at AKA. This is where this is his stomping ground. So to me, that's the Rocky story. And then you know, when I think about Alima and her opponent, I think that, you know, people underestimate her. And this is a girl that's always brought it.
Yeah.
Always brought it. And you know what, win or lose, she always came, and she's going to come swinging for the fences. And I don't think that fight's going to go 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Someone's going to either get knocked out.
And if it does, it'll be crazy, right? So,
oh, yeah.
I mean, it'll be crazy anyways.
No, no.
But, yeah.
I honestly, I'm telling you, that kind of fighter that's hungry like that is dangerous. You know, and Phil Davis against Liam. You don't want to underestimate a guy like Liam that's made the change in his life to clean everything up.
Yeah.
And now he's training with Tiki, which Tiki's done a great job for Czech Congo. Now he's doing a great job for Liam. So, you know, you're going to be able to see a different fighter, I think. So Phil's going to have his hands full. And then the Benson Henderson Piccolotti, that's the other Rocky story.
I know.
The local kid, you know, local in-town kid against a big superstar.
Arguably best lightweight ever.
Ever,
know?
right?
Yeah.
I mean, if Benson can come back and win the title, he'll have 3 titles. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And Benson's a guy that is not afraid of anybody. He always brings it on, you know, gets it on, and I think that's the other Rocky story that Piccolotti's got a shot.
Yeah, definitely.
You know? And what if, right? What if? So we got a great fight card. And Gaston, you know, he's a
highlight reel.
Yeah, he's a young up-and-coming talent that we have a lot of promise in the future for. Let's see how he does.
Yeah.
You know, it's he's fought on the big show a couple of times and fought internationally for us. And you know, in a fight, you never know. Things happen. You get punched out, it's submitted, or you have a slip, you're gone. It's over.
Yep.
So you got to be careful. But I wish all the guys good luck. It's gonna be a great fight card tomorrow night.
Yeah, definitely.